Today we're reading Acts 22, verses 1 through 21. Men, brethren, and fathers, hear ye my defense, which I make now unto you. And when they had heard that he spake in the Hebrew tongue to them, they kept the more silence. And he saith, I am verily a man which am a Jew, born in Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, yet brought up in this city at the feet of Gamaliel, and taught according to the perfect manner of the law of the fathers, and was zealous toward God, as ye are all this day. And I persecuted this way unto the death, binding and delivering into prisons both men and women, as also the high priest doth bear me witness, and all the estate of the elders. From whom also I received letters unto the brethren, and went to Damascus to bring them which were there bound into Jerusalem, for to be punished. And it came to pass that as I made my journey, and was come nigh to Damascus about noon, suddenly there shone from heaven a great light round about me. And I fell to the ground, and heard a voice saying unto me, Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me? And I answered, Who art thou, Lord? And he said unto me, I am Jesus of Nazareth, whom thou persecutest. And they that were with me saw indeed the light, and were afraid, but they heard not the voice of him that spake to me. And I said, What shall I do, Lord? And the Lord said unto me, Arise and go into Damascus, and there it shall be told thee of all things which are appointed for thee to do. And when I could not see for the glory of that light, being led by the hand of them that were with me, I came into Damascus. And one, Ananias, a devout man according to the law, having a good report of all the Jews which dwelt there, came unto me, and stood, and said unto me, Brother Saul, receive thy sight. In the same hour I looked up upon him. And he said, The God of our fathers has chosen thee, that thou shouldest know his will, and see that just one, and shouldest hear the voice of his mouth. For thou shalt be his witness unto all men of what thou hast seen and heard. And now why tarriest thou? Arise and be baptized, and wash away thy sins, calling on the name of the Lord. And it came to pass that when I was come again to Jerusalem, even while I prayed in the temple, I was in a trance, and saw him saying unto me, Make haste, and get thee quickly out of Jerusalem, for they will not receive thy testimony concerning me. And I said, Lord, they know that I imprisoned and beat in every synagogue them that believed on thee. When the blood of thy martyr Stephen was shed, I also was standing by, and consenting unto his death, and kept the raiment of them that slew him. And he said unto me, Depart, for I will send thee far hence unto the Gentiles. In the last passage, we ended with Paul asking permission to address the mob that was trying to kill him. The Roman captain granted Paul's request, and in this passage we hear Paul give his testimony of what God had done in his life. He begins by addressing them in Hebrew. He wanted to show them that he was once in the same place they're in. The crowd began to listen more intently when they realized he was speaking in Hebrew. He goes on to explain he was once the one eager to punish Christians for corrupting Judaism. Even some of those present would have remembered him from when he was there in Jerusalem, bringing Christians in for punishment. He then tells them about his salvation experience, the moment he encountered Jesus. For Paul, this was on the road to Damascus, as we recall from back in chapter 9. He then tells of his encounter with Ananias, who told him that God had a plan for him. And then he tells of another time he encountered Jesus in the temple of all places, the very place they are accusing him of defiling and hating. In that encounter, Jesus tells him to leave Jerusalem because they would not believe him. Paul even shares his objection that he offered to Jesus, saying that everyone there knew he had been a persecutor of Christians and had even consented to Stephen's death. But Jesus insisted, Depart, for I will send thee far hence unto the Gentiles. We'll see the crowd's response in the next passage, but let us consider for a moment Paul's speech. He basically just shared his testimony. This is who I was before I encountered Jesus. This is how I found Jesus, or better yet, how he found me. And then this is what my life was like after Jesus. Have you ever felt unsure of how to share the gospel with someone? Paul just gave us an easy outline. For every one of us can share who we were, how we met Jesus, and what he's done in our lives since that time. That's all that's needed. Are you willing to do that with someone you meet this week?